The room was cold and silent, with only the soft hum of computer screens breaking the tension. Jae Kim leaned forward, his eyes fixed on the flickering data streams that painted a horrifying picture of humanity's darkest secret. For months he had been tracking an impossible pattern, children vanishing without a trace from every continent. At first, local authorities blamed human trafficking. But Jae knew something was different. The disappearances were too precise, too systematic. Satellite images showed no traditional trafficking routes, no digital footprints, nothing that suggested a human operation. His fingers danced across the keyboard, pulling together fragments of information. School records, family reports, international missing children databases. Each piece told a small part of a massive puzzle. Children between 6 and 14 were disappearing. Not random children, but specific ones, often gifted, intelligent, with remarkable potential. Director Helen Park walked into the monitoring room, her military uniform crisp and her expression hard. She had seen many classified reports in her career, but this was different. "Show me everything," she commanded. Jae pulled up the holographic display. Thousands of red dots represented missing children, spread across the globe like a deadly constellation. Each dot represented a family's nightmare, a child torn from their home without explanation. "They're not random," Jae explained, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. "Look at the patterns. These children have something in common." Dr. Woo-sung, the team's xenobiological expert, entered the room. His glasses reflected the complex data streams, his mind already processing the impossible scenario. "High intelligence markers," he muttered. "Genetic diversity, physical resilience." Helen's eyes narrowed. "You're suggesting these aren't typical kidnappings?" "Not kidnappings," Jae responded. "Harvesting." The word hung in the air like a cold, sharp blade. A breakthrough came when an encrypted communication fragment was intercepted. The language was unlike anything in human linguistic databases. Advanced quantum decryption systems worked for weeks, slowly unraveling the mysterious transmission. When the translation finally came through, the truth was more terrifying than anyone had imagined. The transmission revealed a systematic process of child extraction by an entity known simply as the Galactic Collective, an advanced civilization that viewed human children as perfect labor units. Their technological capabilities far exceeded anything humanity had ever encountered. "They've been doing this for decades," Dr. Sung explained, pointing to complex genetic analysis charts. "Not randomly, but with precise scientific calculation." The children weren't being killed. They were being transformed, prepared, and integrated into a massive interstellar labor network. Potential, adaptability, raw genetic potential. These were the currency of this alien system. Jae discovered something even more disturbing. Some children hadn't just disappeared. They had been replaced. Perfect replicas, created with such precision that families remained unaware. These replacement units gathered information, monitored human society, creating a complex web of surveillance. Helen's military mind was already strategizing. "We need a plan. Total secrecy, no panic. We cannot let this information spread without controlled preparation." The team worked through the night, connecting dots, analyzing data. Each hour revealed more layers of the complex alien operation. They weren't dealing with a simple kidnapping network. This was a sophisticated galaxy-spanning system that had been harvesting human potential for generations. Jae looked at the images of missing children, their smiling school photos, their family vacation pictures. Each represented a stolen future, a life interrupted by an incomprehensible alien agenda. "We're going to get them back," he whispered, more to himself than to anyone in the room. As dawn broke, casting soft light through the monitoring room's windows, the team knew everything had changed. Humanity was no longer just an isolated planetary civilization. They were a resource, being systematically harvested by a force beyond their current understanding. The revelation was complete. The fight was just beginning. The research facility stood like a silent fortress hidden deep within a mountain range. Dr. Sarah Lee walked among rows of advanced computer systems, her mind racing faster than the quantum processors around her. Humanity had to change everything, and fast. Since discovering the alien harvesting operation, global scientific communities had been working in total secrecy. No international conferences, no published papers, just pure, focused innovation driven by a single mission: developing technology to counter the Galactic Collective. Traditional weapons were useless. They needed something entirely new. Sarah's team focused on three critical areas: stealth technology, communication systems, and adaptive weaponry. Each breakthrough came with immense challenges. Conventional physics seemed like children's drawings compared to the complexity they were attempting to solve. Quantum entanglement communication became their first major success. Imagine sending a message that couldn't be intercepted, that existed in multiple states simultaneously. Traditional communication was like shouting across a room. Their new system was like whispering directly into someone's mind, across infinite distances. Engineers worked in shifts, sleeping in small pods near their workstations. Failure was not an option. Every minute counted, knowing alien systems were continuously monitoring human technological development. Their first prototype looked nothing like a traditional weapon. A small device no larger than a smartphone, contained more computational power than entire military complexes from a decade earlier. It could analyze, adapt, and counter alien technological systems in milliseconds. Global governments had merged. Resources. Military budgets from the United States, China, Russia, and European Union were consolidated into a single, unprecedented research initiative. National boundaries meant nothing when humanity's children were at stake. Young researchers, many barely out of their doctoral programs, worked alongside veteran scientists. They understood this wasn't just a technological challenge, it was a species-level survival strategy. The nano-weapon systems represented their most ambitious project. These weren't traditional explosives or energy weapons. They were intelligent, self-replicating systems that could analyze and neutralize alien technological infrastructure. "We're not just building weapons," Sarah would tell her team. "We're creating a language of technological resistance." Parallel research streams developed advanced psychological warfare algorithms. Understanding how to disrupt alien communication, networks, how to introduce confusion and uncertainty into their complex systems. Weeks turned into months. Breakthrough followed breakthrough. Each successful test felt like a small victory against an unknown enemy. Their stealth technology could bend light, absorb electromagnetic radiation, and essentially make spacecraft invisible to any known scanning technology. Ships could potentially move through alien territories undetected, gathering critical intelligence. The most significant advancement came unexpectedly. A young engineer named David Park discovered a method to encode human cognitive patterns into technological systems. This meant their weapons and communication systems could think, adapt, and learn in ways alien technologies couldn't predict. Military strategists were stunned. This wasn't just technological preparation. This was a fundamental reimagining of human potential. Power sources became another critical research area. Traditional nuclear and electrical systems were too limited. They developed quantum energy collectors that could harvest energy from fundamental space-time fluctuations, essentially creating unlimited power from the fabric of reality itself. Sarah knew they were racing against time. Every moment of preparation could mean the difference between rescuing or losing an entire generation of human children. Late one night, reviewing complex simulation results, she realized they had done more than prepare for a conflict. They were rewriting the rules of technological engagement for an entire species. The facility hummed with potential. Thousands of the brightest human minds, working in perfect synchronization, had transformed humanity's technological understanding in mere months. What began as a desperate response to an impossible threat had become something more. A technological renaissance that would forever change humanity's place in the universe. The Galactic Collective thought they were harvesting a resource. They were about to discover they had awakened something far more dangerous. A species with an unlimited capacity for adaptation innovation, and resistance. Humanity was preparing, and they would not be stopped. Captain David Choi checked his gear one last time. The stealth transport hummed quietly, its quantum drive rendering it invisible to any known scanning technology. His team of 12 specialized operatives sat in perfect silence, each understanding the mission's critical nature. They were heading into the Orion sector, where initial intelligence suggested the largest human child processing facility existed. No military operation in human history had ever attempted something this complex. The mission parameters were simple but impossible: locate, rescue, and extract human children without alerting the Galactic Collective's primary monitoring systems. Their ship moved like a ghost through alien territories. Advanced psychological warfare algorithms continuously broadcasted false communication signals, creating massive interference in alien tracking networks. It was like playing an intricate game of technological hide-and-seek. David remembered the briefings. Thousands of children, some as young as 6, had been transformed into labor units. Not killed, not traditionally enslaved, but systematically repurposed by an alien system that viewed human potential as a renewable resource. The first visual of the alien processing station came into view. It wasn't a military installation. It looked more like a massive organic living structure, shifting, breathing, processing. Millions of small energy signatures indicated movement inside. Quantum penetration sequence initiated, whispered the team's technical specialist. Complex holographic displays showed multiple potential entry points, each calculated with millisecond precision. Their nano-weapon systems were unlike anything in human military history. These weren't traditional weapons, but intelligent, adaptive systems that could analyze and neutralize alien technological infrastructure in real time. The initial breach happened almost silently. Their technology didn't just break through alien security systems. It confused them, created false pathways, misdirected tracking algorithms. It was less an invasion and more a sophisticated magic trick. Inside the facility, the true horror became apparent. Rows of containment units held children in suspended animation. Some looked peaceful, others showed signs of psychological stress. Each child represented a stolen future, a life interrupted by an incomprehensible alien agenda. David's team moved with surgical precision. Each operative had a specific role: rescue, medical support, data extraction, and defensive positioning. They weren't just a military team, they were humanity's first response to a galactic threat. The rescue process was complex. They couldn't simply wake the children. Each needed careful neurological stabilization, psychological reset protocols, and immediate medical intervention. Their technology allowed for instant healing, memory protection, and trauma suppression. In the first hour, they extracted 237 children. By the second hour, the number reached 1,142. The Galactic Collective's monitoring systems still hadn't fully comprehended the invasion. Something unexpected happened during the mission. The children, even in their suspended state, seemed to respond to human presence. Their vital signs changed. Brain activity showed remarkable resilience. "They're fighting back," one medical specialist whispered. "Even unconscious, they're resisting." The final extraction became a race against time. Alien defense systems were slowly adapting, creating complex energy barriers. David knew they had a limited window of opportunity. Their quantum communication system sent encrypted signals back to Earth. Every piece of data, every child rescued was a victory against a system that had considered humans nothing more than a resource. When the final child was secured, the team had rescued 3,142 human children. More than a military operation, this was a statement. Humanity was declaring its presence in the galactic community, showing they would not be passive victims. As their stealth transport prepared to exit the alien sector, David looked at the secured children. They weren't just rescued individuals. They were humanity's future ambassadors, survivors of an impossible journey. The mission was more than a rescue. It was a declaration of war. The stars became battlegrounds. Humanity's transformed military fleet emerged from quantum jump points. Their technology so advanced it seemed almost magical. Commander Rebecca Yoon stood on the bridge of the flagship, her eyes cold and determined. The Galactic Collective never expected a species they considered a mere resource to fight back. Their first mistake was underestimating human adaptability. Massive, energy weapons that once seemed invincible became useless against humanity's quantum shield technologies. Human ships moved like liquid mercury, changing shape, redirecting energy attacks, transforming mid-battle in ways that defied traditional combat logic. Initial confrontations weren't just battles. They were complete technological demonstrations. Where alien ships relied on predictable energy patterns, human vessels created impossible maneuvers. They didn't just dodge attacks, they manipulated the very physics of space around them. Communication networks across alien territories began, reporting strange disruptions. Human psychological warfare algorithms were creating massive confusion. Entire alien command structures suddenly found their most secure communication channels compromised. The rescued children played a critical role. Their unique genetic modifications combined with advanced training became humanity's secret weapon. They could interface with technological systems in ways no traditional soldier could, turning complex alien infrastructures into vulnerable networks. Each battle lasted minutes, not hours. Human strategists had transformed warfare from a physical confrontation to a complex mathematical problem. They didn't just fight, they solved the equation of conflict with unprecedented efficiency. Alien military leaders discovered something terrifying. Humans learned faster than any species they had encountered. Each confrontation became a learning opportunity. Each battle a chance to upgrade and improve their technological approach. The quantum communication networks allowed instantaneous strategy sharing. What one human unit learned in a distant star system was immediately integrated into the collective human combat strategy. It was like fighting an opponent who could remember and adapt from every single punch. Psychological warfare became as important as physical confrontation. Human teams didn't just destroy alien infrastructure, they destabilized their entire social and communication structures. Entire alien planetary systems found themselves in complete technological chaos. Rebecca understood. This wasn't just a military campaign. This was a species-level response to generations of systematic exploitation. Every destroyed alien facility, every rescued child represented a piece of human dignity restored. Alien leadership began to realize they had awakened something far more dangerous than a simple resource population. Humanity wasn't just fighting back, they were rewriting the fundamental rules of galactic engagement. Advanced AI systems, originally designed to predict and manage human responses, began generating increasingly uncertain outcomes. Humans had become a variable that no existing galactic algorithm could consistently predict. The most shocking development came from the rescued children. Their unique genetic modifications, combined with advanced training, allowed them to interface with alien technological systems in unprecedented ways. They weren't just victims. They were now the most advanced technological warriors in known space. Supply lines collapsed. Communication networks disintegrated. The Galactic Collective's massive infrastructure began showing critical vulnerabilities. What seemed like an impenetrable system was now revealing itself as a complex but ultimately fragile network. Months of conflict transformed into a systematic dismantling of alien technological supremacy. Human forces moved with a precision that seemed almost supernatural, targeting not just military installations, but the very philosophical foundations of the alien civilization. Rebecca watched the holographic displays, each blinking light representing another system liberated, another group of children rescued, another piece of human potential restored. They weren't just fighting a war. They were conducting a systematic rescue of an entire generation, rewriting the narrative of human existence in the galaxy. The confrontation was total. The response was absolute. Humanity had transformed from a harvested resource to the most dangerous species in known space, and they were just getting started. The war ended not with a massive explosion, but with a quiet surrender. The Galactic Collective's central command simply collapsed. Their entire civilization, built on generations of systematic exploitation, crumbled under humanity's relentless technological and psychological assault. David Park stood on the observation deck of the United Earth Station, watching the remnants of alien territories. Once a rescued child himself, he was now the youngest ambassador in human history. His story was the story of an entire generation, stolen, recovered, and transformed. Rehabilitation of the rescued children became humanity's most critical mission. These weren't just survivors. They were the bridge between humanity's past and its future galactic potential. Advanced medical technologies restored physical damage. Quantum psychological healing protocols addressed the deeper traumas. The children emerged different, not broken but enhanced. Their experiences had created a generation of humans with capabilities that defied previous understanding of human potential. Some could interface directly with complex technological systems. Others demonstrated cognitive abilities that made previous human intelligence look primitive. Global human societies underwent massive transformation. The experience of collective survival created a unity never before seen. National boundaries became meaningless. Earth transformed from a collection of competing countries to a single unified species with a clear mission. Interstellar child protection protocols became the most important legal framework in human history. Every advanced civilization would understand one fundamental truth. Human children were not a resource. They were the most valuable potential in the universe. The rescued children became leaders, scientists, diplomats, and explorers. Their unique experiences created a generation that understood the universe differently. They weren't just survivors. They were the architects of humanity's next evolutionary step. David remembered his own rehabilitation. Years of careful medical and psychological treatment had transformed his childhood trauma into a powerful drive to ensure no other children would ever experience what he experienced. His first diplomatic mission involved creating comprehensive galactic laws protecting young intelligent species. Technological advances developed during the conflict transformed human society. Quantum healing, adaptive communication systems, and energy generation technologies became freely available. The war had produced innovations that would benefit not just humans, but potentially every developing civilization in the galaxy. The Galactic Collective's database, once a tool of oppression, became a massive library of knowledge. Humanity discovered centuries of hidden information about galactic civilizations, technological developments, and complex evolutionary patterns. Some rescued children chose military careers. Others became scientists, diplomats, artists. Their diversity became humanity's greatest strength. They weren't defined by their past trauma, but by their incredible potential. Psychological studies revealed something remarkable. The children's experiences had created a unique form of collective consciousness. They could communicate in ways that transcended traditional language, sharing complex ideas and emotions with unprecedented efficiency. United Earth established the Galactic Restoration Initiative. Its mission was simple: prevent any civilization from systematically exploiting young intelligent species. What began as a rescue mission became a comprehensive galactic protection strategy. David watched a group of young diplomats preparing for their first interstellar mission. Their eyes were different. No fear, just pure potential. They had transformed from victims to guardians of galactic peace. The war's legacy wasn't destruction. It was a fundamental reimagining of what it meant to be a spacefaring civilization. Humanity had proven that potential couldn't be harvested, controlled, or stolen. It could only be nurtured. Earth became more than a planet. It became a symbol of resistance, resilience, and hope. Every rescued child was a testament to the incredible strength of a species that refused to be defined by its challenges. As stars passed outside the observation deck, David understood their journey was just beginning. The universe was vast, complex, and filled with potential. And humanity was ready, not as a resource, not as a victim, but as a powerful, compassionate, and unstoppable force of creation and protection. The redemption was complete. The future was theirs.